Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of
the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast
with your host, the 2023 IBWAA Podcast Host of the Year, Jana, and her big brother, Jeff. Firing up the podcast machine to bring you the latest episode of Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast. And as always, we are here. I'm Jeff. With me
I'm Jana.
Yeah, that's you. We always like a reminder in case she forgets who she is.
Yeah, sometimes.
And today you are on top of it. That's good.
Thank you.
Of course, I was holding up a sign in the camera that said, I am Jana. She just read it. Anyway, I saw some pretty, I guess could be incredible news, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, that even you don't know about.
I know.
So
I'm going to be surprised.
So I'll share that in a minute. In the meantime, you can find us on our social media, both Twitter and Blue Sky at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Facebook and Instagram at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
And of course, our website, siblingrivalrybb.com. Stop in. I haven't really looked at the website lately. The last couple of times I've been there is because I'm going to the Fanatics link, so I can look at some gear and see if they've got any new World Championship gear or new stuff from the different teams that I like. So that's where we go when we want that, and that's where you should go as well. SiblingRivalryBB.com, hit the Fanatics link, and get something from any of your favorite teams. All right, so we are almost done for this season. We have one more episode after this, and it is our tradition episode. And if you know what the tradition is, you've listened long enough, you already know what I'm talking about. But next week, we will be talking to Greg Sullivan from our favorite, our favorite Summer League Wood Bat, Collegiate Summer League Wood Bat, or Summer Wood Bat League.
Yeah.
Owner.
Yeah.
And administrator.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he has a new title, so hopefully he can tell us about that as well. But yeah, looking forward to talking to our favorite turkey. I mean peacock.
Yes.
The Carolina
the
Disco
peacock.
Turkeys.
And of course, we always like to do right before Thanksgiving, Boogie Survival Awareness.
Yes.
So we got all that. Then today, I saw that Apple announced their top 10 podcast across their platform.
Yeah.
And I excitedly looked to see, because of one thing it said, I don't know what it was called, The Daily or something like that. I have no idea what it is, but it's a podcast that had been at the top of their list. And it fell. Joe Rogan took over number one again.
Yeah.
But what I saw that surprised me and made me excited was that they only did the top 10. So as far as I could tell, we are number 11.
Woo! Yeah.
We are the 11th best or most listened to podcast in the Appleverse.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like a bunch of different lists of things, and we weren't in the top 10, so we must be 11.
We are. Yes.
So,
we're number 11.
1-1.
That's right.
So I wanted that to be a surprise for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to get 2 foam fingers and then put them together.
Right. We're number 11.
11.
So, congratulations to us.
Yeah, we've worked really hard for that.
hey, if they don't print the whole list,
yeah,
nobody could say we're wrong.
Nope.
So there we go. 11th in the world.
Amazing.
When you figure there's like, I think I read there's like 4 or 5 million podcasts.
So
being
crazy.
Number 11 is, and that's not just that, and we're a niche podcast.
Yeah.
Those other ones are like true crime or current events or Joe Rogan's all over the place, but they sometimes you're like, it's like when Howard Stern started, you start listening. Why? Because you want to know what he says, whether you like him or you don't like him. Joe Rogan's kind of taken that role now. So, and he has lots of, guests on and all that. So,
yeah.
And there was a bunch of other ones, but I just figured that must mean we're 11.
I think you're correct in that assessment.
All right. So lots to talk about today. We've got some other awards that were given out long after the awards we, talked about last week, like the MVP, Cy Young, and all that. So we're going to go through those, including the all MLB teams, first and second teams. We're going to get to those a little bit later. And then we've got a few transactions that have happened over the last couple of days that we want to talk about, on the heels of the GM meetings. And then, before the winter meetings, sometimes little things happen. I think more has happened now than I expected, but we'll get to those. Plus, we're going to talk about the qualifying offers. We talked about that last week. Some surprises this year. We'll do that. And then another thing that just came out, and it's something that we talked about briefly before, and because there was a couple of surprises on this, but the media rights for baseball. And I was reading through this. I went back through and thought more about it, and I didn't realize how badly Manfreded up these things, because the ESPN, we saw that ESPN opted out, and then like a teenage romance, MLB opted out. You're breaking up with me? I'm breaking up with you. And so there was all that, but what I didn't really put the numbers together, but they lost like 1.6 or 1.5 billion dollars.
Yeah.
1.65. I had all the numbers, just not properly arranged. That was 3 more years. And then when they initially built this, ESPN, actually MLB asked for an opt-out, and ESPN said, you want to opt out? We want an opt-out. And then they took it. And then this new media deal, without the deal that we talked about before, which is ESPN basically getting the rights to MLB TV, would have been about a $900 difference between what MLB was supposed to get over the next 3 years and what they were going to get. They were only going to get about $750 million. And we'll explain how that is. But because they got the deal with ESPN and MLB TV is part of that deal, and all the way that the money fit for that, which turned out to be about $550 million a year, these other deals that they just announced helped them not lose $1.65 billion. So since you alerted me to this, what are the facts as you know them?
So the facts are ESPN, they have the rights to out-of-market games for all 30 teams. So that's the MLB TV, plus 6 in-market clubs. So the Guardians, the Padres, the Twins, the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, and the Mariners.
Those were the teams that all had, they were like part of Bally's. And when Bally's kind of was going through their bankruptcy, those were the teams they jettisoned.
Yeah. And so MLB TV, the question I have, and I know a lot of people have, I have MLB TV, is do I have to watch it through the ESPN app, or is it that will it still be available through the MLB app? How does that work? Because on the MLB TV, you also get to watch MLB Network. You can watch that programming. So how is that going to work?
The way it read when I was reading earlier was that it'll still go through. So MLB TV will still be its own brand, just under the ESPN umbrella. But
okay.
I guess we'll see, because they're talking about the cost of the month or the yearly cost of it, and then maybe doing something like giving you ESPN Ultra or whatever, some a platform that ESPN has that's a paid platform, and you will get a month free of that along with your MLB TV subscription or something like that.
And so I just saw also people who have T-Mobile get MLB TV.
Right.
So it looks like that will continue as well.
Yeah, as long as they're a main sponsor of in baseball, I think that's the case. That was the one thing when I had T-Mobile, I had to leave them because they were just terrible. But that was one reason why I was like, I could stay with T-Mobile, I guess, so I could get MLB TV for whatever the cost without extra cost.
Right.
It's an add-on.
Then, so you have ESPN, and they've had a partnership with Major League Baseball. I think that's like 39 seasons, 39 years of baseball.
Yeah.
NBC and Peacock will have the first round of playoffs and then Sunday Night Baseball. And then Netflix will have opening day, the Home Run Derby, and the Field of Dreams game, which is going to happen in August. Right. So I'm excited about the Home Run Derby being on Netflix, because I watched the All-Star game, but it's still going to be on Fox, and the World Series will still be on Fox. Championship Series, Division Series, Championship Series will still all be on Fox. But I can never watch the Home Run Derby. And actually, I like the Home Run Derby a little bit more than the game. I can watch highlights of the game after, but the Home Run Derby is fun. So that one's cool. And so it'll be a lot of different places that people will be able to watch the game. I hope it grows the game. I think they were looking at the amount of viewers for the World Series, but especially that game, the Game 7. And really, streaming is it, where people have all different streaming services. Apple TV will still have the Friday night baseball as well. But yeah, so I guess we'll see how it works. Like I said, I have MLB TV, so I can watch the Dodgers. And really, what would be awesome is if they could just figure out the blackout and just get rid of it.
I think we're looking at probably the 3-year window we still have, so that they can continue to consolidate everything, because most of all the media rights are done in 3 years. So after the 2028 season, and then in 2029, MLB wants to create a whole new package of things.
Yeah.
And all of these deals fit into that 3-year window.
Right.
So, So you said Netflix is going to have opening day game, which is going to be this year different than in the past. Is going to be a standalone,
Yeah, so
and
it's going
that's
to
going
be
to be
the Yankees and the Giants.
right. And then the Field of Dreams will be the Phillies versus the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the Home Run Derby, we don't know until
We don't know.
closer to the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, NBC's first game will be the second night of the season, and they're going to have the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks.
And then,
The 8 to 12 playoff games are going to be split between it says split between NBC and Peacock. So
yeah, that's what I was just going to bring up is that they said if there is, like on the Sunday night games, when they get to those points of the season where the NBA is on the front end and the NFL is on the back end, the baseball, those two will get NBC and baseball will be on Peacock.
Oh, okay. And then Roku has had the Sunday morning games. Peacock had them, then a Roku, and now Peacock will take that back.
So basically, there's not going to be really, not that there really is, but no more free TV for
No.
games.
Yeah.
Unless you have. I mean, I have an HD antenna, but for some reason it doesn't pick up the Fox. The LA Fox station. I can get every other local station, and a few others, those HD, 5.3 channels
Right.
and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
so I can watch a lot of nostalgic TV, which is kind of cool on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, now if you're not streaming something or have cable still, then you're just out of luck.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if it's because most people are, a lot of times, like I said, they're streaming, but they're streaming on different devices. You can stream to your TV, but maybe you're watching on your phone or your laptop or, whatever it may be, your tablet. Um, I I'm interested to see how it all works out. I don't want them to mess up MLB TV. I like the way it is for the most part, other than the blackout, which hopefully they can figure out, especially if they're going to make it where you don't have your local, it used to be, was it channel, which channel was it in LA that always had the Dodger games? KTLA?
No, that's Channel 5, Channel 11.
Channel
KTTV.
11. That's right. And I was like, that's not right. But yeah, Channel 11. So you could always watch the Dodger games, but now you can't, you got to have Spectrum. So.
Right. You got to have the Spectrum Sportsnet, and they don't really even work it out. Now that more people in the LA area have it or have access to it, there for a while they would do like a few games. Like even now, the Angels are putting a few games a season on Channel 13, which was a channel they used to put their games on, KCOP. And even Channel 13 is not what it used to be here. It's like a Fox Plus kind of thing. And that's just a local Fox affiliate. Channel 11 uses it for extra programming and that. But they've thrown a few games on there. So bottom line is what I think maybe this might work out for you, because if ESPN has both the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, you might, because you're technically part of both of their local,
Right.
things, right?
Yeah, I'm local.
Yeah. So you're in their territory
Yeah.
by them having local rights. If they're showing the game, then you should be able to watch it through ESPN, MLB TV, however they work that. So
Well,
you
I
shouldn't have a
wonder-
blackout, I wouldn't think.
I would hope, I hope not. But I wonder because before you would have MLB TV, but if you had you wanted to watch Rockies games, then it was an additional charge, like an additional so much money for that package. So I wonder if they will continue that.
Yeah, I'm
Which
sure a
I'm
lot of
sure
that we
they
got to,
probably will, just because it's more money.
man, they can.
I did see this. It was interesting that on July 5th, all MLB games will be on Peacock, with one late Sunday morning game and a Sunday night baseball appearing on NBC that day.
Huh.
Yeah. So
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. It just said the platform will have an afternoon wraparound show all day on July 5th. So
Huh. Interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing about the streaming thing that is below average.
mhm.
When you have cable and there's a lot of the games are on, the same channels, or not the same channels, but on different channels, but just on the cable network, it's easy to flip through. Like I can go from the Angels game to the Dodgers game, see what's going on in both. And if there happens to be another one, like, TNT has one that night or Fox has something,
Oh yeah,
I could go and
TBS.
flip through 3 or 4 games and I don't have to do anything. Here, if you're watching, like on the Friday night game, if the Dodgers are playing on the Friday night game on Apple, and I want to go over and see what's going on at the Angels game, it's not as easy as just flipping the channel.
Yeah.
I have to
No.
go, then I got to get into a new app and wait for
Mhm.
it to load up. And it doesn't allow. So I mean, I guess the only thing is if you could do, um, MLB TV on a few different devices,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I,
it just makes it harder. I mean, not that you're going to be able to see. It's not like NFL ticket kind of thing, or where you can go someplace and watch 6 games on, or if somebody's got 15 TVs and you can watch all the games at one time, or as many on at a time, but it isn't, you're kind of stuck having to watch them on 2 different devices. You can't flip back and forth, which I think
yeah.
people like to do.
I think so too. I think, yeah. I mean, if you're watching one game and it's not going your team's way, flip to the other game, see how that one's going. And
Right.
yeah, you're right. You can't do that. You got to go home, depending on what you have.
Hmm.
Home, open up the new app, find the game. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how will this work for older fans. I'm sure. I mean, I think most people have um, at least one streaming service, maybe. I don't know. But still, if it's, if
Yeah,
Netflix
but
is
if all
just
you
the home
have is
run derby.
Netflix, then you get 2 games in the Derby.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all works out, but I, I wonder too if just doing MLB, they have MLB TV. So just making that accessible to people, to baseball fans, and they can watch any game because
Right.
MLB has the,
Yeah. No
has the rights.
blackouts. If
Yeah, no
it has no
blackout.
blackouts, that's the way. But they've got to get past this 3-year window so that they can put themselves in position for that. So we will continue to monitor that and tell you how to watch games when we that gets all figured out. And I'm sure sometime after the first of the year, ESPN will start announcing how the package works with MLB TV and all that stuff. All right, real quick, we talked about it a little bit last week. The Angels are in a lawsuit with the Skaggs family about the death of Tyler Skaggs back in July of 2019. And not a whole lot has changed other than the Skaggs, both Tyler Skaggs' wife and mom have testified. And what I continue to see here is everybody pretty much knew that Eric Kay, the former communications director who went to jail for providing the pills to that killed Tyler Skaggs. I think they've all. I think it's come down that everybody in the organization, even when they say they don't know, knew
Oh yeah.
what he was doing. I mean, it just doesn't seem like. And what I really see is it looks like that the Angels' biggest deal right now, and we'll see more as the trial goes with more experts, is to bring down the total cost of the lawsuit. I think they know they're going to lose. So now the question is, how much do they have to pay? And they're trying to limit that to being no more than about $30 million. Still, that's a lot of money. And really, I don't know how much the lawyers take, but whatever's left is probably enough because it's uh, Tyler Skaggs' wife, Carly, his mom, and his dad that
Mm,
are all the plaintiffs
yeah.
in this.
Yeah, I don't see how the Angels, I almost think if they could come up with a settlement, because they're not going to win. And there were several players that have come out who bought pills from um,
Eric Kay.
Eric Kay. Yeah, thank you. All of a sudden, his name just went.
I could see
Um,
it leave. That's
yeah,
why.
you should have had my sign. You should have had my sign. Wipe out Jana, put Eric K.
Right.
Anyway, so like just recently you had Mike Morin.
Marin. Yeah.
Marin, yeah. Who he was, a pitcher, and he testified that, there was pressure to stay in the big leagues, and, if he if you felt achy, you thought your arm might be going, yeah, they got Oxycontin from Eric K, and he would leave the money in his locker and, in the cubby there, and when he'd come back, money'd be gone and pills would be there. And like I said, he's not the only one. There were 5. He's one of 5 players who admitted to purchasing pills from K. Matt Harvey, CJ Crone, Cam Bedrosian, and Blake Parker. And their Marin was a live witness. The rest of them all had depositions that will be entered into the trial. But I don't see how the Angels get around this without paying, because, it's come out. Mike Trout said, hey, this is going on, and nobody did wasn't really, nobody did anything. And I think because of the stuff that he was doing to get money, the crazy stuff he was doing, yeah, I think everybody had to have known there was something there.
Right. And they talk about his behavior. They talk about a lot of different things that were going on, but it's clear that people knew. And in fact, I think we mentioned last time the VP of Human Resources has been called out for perjury, that MLB knew and MLB was connected, but MLB saying no. So they're being subpoenaed so they can come in and testify to that to prove the perjury of that one particular witness. So I honestly, I don't know how this doesn't get extended till next year, because there's
Yeah.
so many things that are, and it just takes a while, and they're asking a lot of questions. And right now, it's supposed to be over by December 12th. We're just 3 weeks away from that, so they're going to have to pack a lot in, and they'll be off, I think, most of this next week for Thanksgiving. So we'll take a look at that. We may not know anything until next year what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure the Angels, a lot of times with these civil suits, eventually one of them realizes and they settle. And I think the Angels need to find somewhere that's a nice number that's more than 30 million. It doesn't have to be the full 100 and whatever that they're asking for, but I think this is doing more damage than good.
Yeah, I think the longer the trial goes on and the more that comes out about what was going on behind the scenes in the Angels organization in regard, in reference to this case, then yeah, I think you're right. It's damaging. It's damaging to the club and to its overall, the persona of the Angels. They don't want to be known as the club that had the drug dealer.
All right, time to take a look at happier news. Let's take a look at the first and second teams of for the all MLB team. Why don't we do it this way? You give us the first team, and I'll give you the second team.
Okay. All right. So the all MLB team is based on 50% fans and then 50% panel of experts. I don't know who the panel of experts is, but
Wasn't us.
It wasn't us, even though we're number 11. Come on.
We're number 11 in the world, but you don't put
And
us on your panel of experts.
I know.
Aye.
The Mariners and the Phillies led the way with 4 selections apiece, while the Yankees and the Dodgers both had 3. The Blue Jays, the Brewers, the Diamondbacks, the Mets, the Red Sox had 2. So, without further ado, the first
And
team.
unlike the All-Star game,
yeah,
you don't have to have one player from every team.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Right. So, the first team all MLB catcher Cal Raleigh of the Mariners, first base Vladimir Guerrero Jr., second base Ketel Marte, third base Jose Ramirez, shortstop Bobby Witt Jr., in the outfield Aaron Judge, Julio Rodriguez, Juan Soto, and then the DH Shohei Ohtani. Starting pitchers Garrett Crochet, Max Fried, Paul Scanes, Tarek Skubal, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And relief pitchers Aroldis Chapman and what's his name? Duran.
I always just say Joan. I think it's Joan.
Joan. I think it is. It's Joan Duran. I think you're right. But it just looks like letters put together.
Yeah, we just generally did that.
It's not Joanne.
No.
I don't know when it came out.
I was reading something. They thought how better can and I just say this because you said the guy's name. Can the Dodgers really ruin baseball?
Yeah.
And it was like 5 choices, and one of them was trade for Paul Scanes. And of those, and one also was Tarek Skubal. I think if the Dodgers were able to talk the Pirates into giving up Scanes, I think we would really hear that the world is ending.
Yeah, there's a comet, and it's very close to impact.
More than Tarek Skubal, even. If,
yeah.
Because Tarek Skubal's got a few years under his belt, but Paul Scanes, he's still kind of pink.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So let's take a look at the second team as voted by that panel of all-stars and 50% fans. Will Smith, one of the Dodgers who has made it on here. He is the catcher. Nick Kurtz, the Rookie of the Year winner from the Athletics. Bryce Turang from the low-budget Average Joe Brewers. Junior Caminero from the Rays comes in at third base on the second team. Bo Bichette, he may be second team MLB, but he is towards the top of where's he going to go in the list, and we'll talk more about him coming up. The outfield, Cody Bellinger, Corbin Carroll, and your buddy Pico, Pete
Woo!
Crow Armstrong from the Cubs. And, of course, the DH, I don't think there was anybody else that
No.
could get this. Kyle Schwarber. Actually, I was going to say, and Shohei is also the second team
Right.
DH, but no, it's Kyle Schwarber. Starting pitchers, Hunter Brown from the Astros, Freddie Peralta from the Brewers, Christopher Sanchez from the Phillies, Zach Wheeler from the Phillies, and Brian Wu from the Mariners. And your second team relievers, Edwin Diaz from the Mets and Andres Munoz from the Mariners.
So I have an issue with the first team outfielders that Juan Soto. I think he's a more second team to me.
Yeah, he
I
didn't
know-
make the All-Star team.
No, and offense, sure, but defense, no. So I feel that like Pico maybe would
Maybe
be
they
a
should have
first.
swapped those.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, but remember, if it's 50% fans, that means
Yeah.
50% of it is who's your favorite.
Yeah.
And a lot of just basic fans who might do that, they know Juan Soto's name,
Yeah, right.
but they don't necessarily, even though, Pico's name's been out there, they don't know him like they know Juan Soto.
True. That's true.
So
Yeah.
that's my guess.
I think that you were correct on that, but that's what I would have changed there.
All right. So last week we announced all of the 4 major awards.
I wanted to tell you, I didn't know this.
No.
So it's the Baseball Writers Association of America, and they have the overall awards, like, Cy Young, like what we announced, but they have chapters. So Houston has a Baseball Writers Association. So they give out awards. They have their own little chapter. Milwaukee gets, so if you didn't like the winners of the big, not
the overall, I
the
guess.
overall organization, then maybe you would like the chapter picks.
So yeah, so
Or
you're like
you could follow the Internet Baseball Writers Association of America, which we are members, and see that we get it right.
Yes, that's true. We do. Because we're paying attention to everything. Some of these
Yes.
other ones, and so if you're upset that that Shohei won the MVP and you think Kyle Schwarber should have, then you should just go to the Philly Awards.
Right.
And maybe
Just
they
go
gave
to
it to Kyle
that.
Schwarber.
I'm pretty sure they
I don't think
probably
they did because it was
I don't know.
unanimous.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
But
I just
if
saw
it's not
that.
unanimous, then there's that possibility, yeah, that
Yeah. I just thought that was really interesting that there's like chapters and that they give out their own awards.
I didn't know that. I thought they were just all one big thing. But I guess.
No.
I guess.
Yeah,
All right.
chapter.
So some of the other awards, and this one was kind of interesting in that one of these awards actually, I think, sparked a little conversation, and that's the Hank Aaron Award, in saying that the Hank Aaron Award is for the best hitters in baseball, whereas the MVP should be the best all-around player.
Right.
Thus, the fact that Aaron Judge won the Hank Aaron Award. That makes sense. But Cal Raleigh should have won the MVP because he was the better all-around player.
Right. Yes. I mean, no
Defense,
passed
offense.
balls,
Well, but then
defensively.
again, he didn't even get a Gold Glove.
That I know. So
How does
is
that
it
work?
well, and this is the conversation that has come up is if he was the catcher for the Yankees, he would have been MVP. But
Maybe.
because he's the catcher for Seattle Mariners on the West Coast, way up the West Coast, no
And
one's really paying attention.
so
But
they
he's a
put Baby
switch
in a
hit.
corner.
They did. Switch hitter, catcher, broke records. Johnny, broke Johnny Bench's record, hit 60 home runs. He's a catcher. His overall batting average, not, like
Not
in the
331.
300, right. But still what he was doing offensively and then defensively, he should have been the MVP. Hank Aaron Award is best overall offense performer in each league. Aaron Judge, oh yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely, I agree with that. But I do not think that Aaron Judge should have been the MVP in the American League. I think that Cal got robbed.
He did. And of course, Shohei Ohtani was the other Hank Aaron Award winner. So back-to-back years, the MVP and the Hank Aaron Award have been the same two guys.
Yeah.
And who's to say we won't see that happen again? All right. Why don't who won the Mariano Rivera and the Trevor Hoffman Reliever of the Year awards?
So the Trevor Hoffman National League Reliever of the Year goes to Edwin Diaz of the Mets. Well, he's a free agent, so
But
and
he won
but
it
he
as a
as
Met.
a Met. Yeah. And then the Mariano Rivera American League Reliever of the Year, Aroldis Chapman of the Red
And you know
Sox.
who got the American League award last year?
Aroldis Chapman? No.
No, it was the gambler,
Oh, that's right.
Emmanuel Clase.
Yeah.
And he might have even been in the running this year. I think Aroldis Chapman
So,
had such a great year, but he could have been in the running this year if not for his
yeah.
stupidity.
Well, yeah. And you go back and watch Emmanuel Clase, those pitches, and you think, because now but when people were watching that game, your Guardians fan, you're like, what is he doing? Like that's just spectacularly bad, just in the dirt or way off. And yeah, I don't know how long he thought he was going to be able to hide that.
Right.
But yeah, that's true. Now, if he is suspended, I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. But if MLB suspends them, say it's lifetime, are all of their awards also
No,
taken away?
they don't do
No.
like college football. It's like, okay,
And strip them?
we're taking your Heisman. That's just silliness.
Mm-hmm.
You still earned it, and you couldn't have been throwing bad pitches all the time to
Right.
earn some of these awards. But no, they don't. They don't do
Yeah.
that.
They don't strip them of the award.
Because if that was the case, like Pete Rose, if they said, okay, we're stripping you
Right.
of
That's
everything,
true.
who's Ty Cobb's still the hit leader?
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
I didn't think about that.
So, all right. This one I can't even. We probably don't even need to do it for the fifth straight season. The Edgar Martinez Outstanding Designated Hitter Award goes to not Kyle Schwarber.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yep, goes to Decoy.
That's right. Oh, which I thought was funny because I think it was kind of one of those things. So Decoy, I think everybody knows who Decoy is. He threw out the first pitch at Dodger Stadium. He's envy of other dogs. And he's it, right? And he's always with Shohei, and he was there when they announced the MVP. He was sitting in between Shohei and his wife. In fact, I think he gave the dog a kiss. I
He
don't
did.
think he gave his wife a kiss.
No.
Maybe later, but not on. They like, yay. Aaron Judge has these two little dogs. They look like they're like
Like,
maybe dachshunds or
yeah.
something like. But he had two, so it's almost like you have one, but I have two dogs.
Yeah, but you need 2 to make up for 1 decoy.
Exactly, because your dogs are never going to throw out the first pitch.
Has your dogs ever been tapped to maybe have to pitch in the
Right.
postseason? I don't.
No.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to give you 2, and I'm going to take 1, and I'm going to give
Okay.
you the 2 better ones.
Okay.
You can do the comeback player in a second, and then
Okay.
you told me about one I didn't even know about, so I don't even know who that one is.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and take the boring one, and that is the Executive of the Year award.
I didn't
And
even
for
put that one down.
the second year in a row, it is the Brewers general manager, Matt Arnold. He won it last year, and he won it this year.
Yeah. He's like,
All
I
right.
think I can. I think I can. I'm just an average Joe.
Exactly. All right. Where is who are the comeback player of the year
In the
for
American League, boom, boom, Jacob DeGrom. Does that still play, even though he's not in New York
he's
anymore?
still. Yeah, why not?
And then Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves.
Nice. And then you said there's a new one. This is a brand new award.
It's a brand
just
new
this
award.
year.
It is.
And they should have probably had this last year. And I think Jose Iglesias could have
Right.
won it.
Yes. So showmanship and high energy, the MLB Entertainer of the Year, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, he's pretty entertaining.
He is, but
yeah, okay.
I'm kind of like, I don't know.
I found Jazz Chisholm more entertaining.
Yeah.
Actually, watching what's his name, Cronenworth, almost in tears when they threw the ball near him.
Yes.
That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah. So I would think like Cronenworth, Fernando Tatis Jr., anytime he's pitched inside, he's going to end up on the ground.
Maybe they need to have the MLB drama award.
Oh, yeah. But if it was team, it would definitely go to
The Dregs win.
The Dregs would win it. They'd finally win something.
All right, so that does it for all of that. There is another award that every team is nominates somebody for, and maybe if we remember, we can talk about it next week. But the Heart and Hustle Award, and I know that for the Angels, Zach Neto was the player nominated by his teammates. And the award's presented by the MLB Players Alumni Association and is voted on by alumni as well as active players. And it only goes to an active player who demonstrates a passion for the game of baseball and best embodies the values, spirit, and traditions of the game. So every team has a nominee.
Mm-hmm.
And then the winner is selected and announced. Last year it was Bobby Witt Jr. Like I said, I know Zach Neto was, and who's the Dodgers?
Andy Pajes.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like, few names that you probably have heard before. Brent Rooker from the A's, Jose Ramirez from Cleveland, Zach McKinstry from Detroit. And this isn't a one-time only thing, so players can be nominated multiple times. Kyle Schwarber from the Phillies, the Dregs, Luis Ariz, who is a free agent, and one for every team. So if we remember this, we will announce that next week. All right. So as we're kind of getting to the end of this week's episode, let's talk about the qualifying offers. We talked there were 13 players that were offered qualifying offers, and once again, to just as a reminder, the qualifying offer it's a tool to keep a player with the team, and you can only be offered it once. Most of the time, players don't take it. But if you if you don't take it and you're signed by a different team, it can cost um, that team that signs them a a draft pick. Now, I think in the past, the Dodgers have signed a couple people, but the Dodgers always pick towards the bottom, so it's not like they're giving up a high round pick. When they do that. And even then, they tend to pick really well. But a
Well,
lot of teams, it doesn't work out like that for them.
yeah, that's true. I thought it was interesting that prior to 2025, of the 144 players that received a qualifying offer, only 14 had accepted. So 10%, that's it. Um, and then this year, how many players? There 13 were offered, and how many accepted?
This year, 4
Yeah.
accepted, and only one of them was a surprise because you figure you're going to get a 1 year deal, and this year it's worth $22 million, a little over 22 million for the year. Now, if a lot of times they're not going to extend a qualifying offer to a player that's had a bad year, or they don't expect them to that they wouldn't pay that much, and so a lot of players feel like they have an opportunity to make more money or get a
Mm-hmm.
longer term deal, maybe not quite as much per year, but guaranteed over 4 years. If instead of 22, they're making 18, they're guaranteed 3 more years. And so it comes out to be better instead of just 1 at 22. But a lot of players, and the 4, um, and I'll just tell you they're the 4, and then we can address them as we
Mm-hmm.
go.
Sure.
The 4 that accepted: Trent Grisham from the Yankees, Gleyber Torres from the Tigers, Brandon Woodruff from the Brewers, and Shota Imanaga, Mike Imanaga Jr. for the second. Um, they all took the qualifying offers. The other 9 did not. That would include Kyle Schwarber, Kyle Tucker, Ranger Suarez, Bo Bichette, Framber Valdez, Dylan Cease, Edwin Diaz, Zach Gallen, and Michael King. So let's start with, I think, the easiest one of this group that did take the qualifying offer: Trent Grisham.
Yeah, I don't think that was a surprise at all. Playing with the Yankees, and
Well, a lot of it's not a surprise because this was his first good year.
right, his first good year. And I think I don't know what his market value would be. Like, would he have gotten the same deal if he had been picked up by another team? Um, I don't think so, but
No,
I think
because he doesn't have a proven track record. What he
true.
did
Right.
this season was a one-off.
Yeah.
So if in order for him to put himself in a position next year, regardless of whatever happens, with labor disputes, um, he takes this guaranteed 22 million. That's more than he would have made out on the market. and maybe builds upon it so that he can get a multi-year deal, maybe worth about the same or more, as a as a as a high quality outfielder. But I think he made the right move taking that, because he'll get more money than he's made in the past, as far
Right.
as for 1 year, and it puts him in position, if he can have another good year. If not, then he's got more money to, bank upon going forward. So if he never makes that much again, oh well.
Yeah, and I think the other one that didn't surprise me was Gleyber Torres, because we had talked about how he wanted to stay with the Tigers. So taking the qualifying offer, I think, was the best way for him to do that.
Well, he did. He had a great first half, was an all-star, and then his second half he was below average.
Right.
And I think that probably played into as well. But he did want to stay with the Tigers, so he got his wish. This next one kind of surprised, because I thought that even with his injury issues, he would have, because everybody's looking for pitching.
Yes.
Brandon Woodruff, I believe, maybe he's not, is a little worried about his injury issues, and he had right shoulder surgeries, had other arm issues, and that. So, and kind of even surprised that they offered him the qualifying
Yeah.
offer. But
Yeah.
it does help the Brewers if he's able to kind of pitch back up to the form that they thought he had.
Yeah, I think that for him was a smart move, because with the injuries he's had, and then he ended the season with an injury, didn't play in the postseason. He could have gotten a 1-year deal somewhere else, or maybe even a 2-year, but would it be the same amount that he gets with the qualifying offer?
Right.
That's the gamble.
Finally, the one that we were both surprised by, but actually works out in Shota's. It works out for him.
Yeah.
Shota Imanaga. We thought that he was going to go someplace else, because the Cubs declined their 3-year, 57 million club option, and he turned down his 15 million player option for 2026 to become a free agent. But they attached that qualifying offer. He was gonna make $15 million. Now
Yeah.
he's gonna make $22 million.
Yeah. So he gets like $7 million
So
more
maybe we
than
shouldn't have
he
been
would have.
surprised,
Yeah,
because it's a $7
he
million
knew.
raise.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, his, again, first half of the season, and then his final 12 starts, he had a 5.17 ERA. And so that could have been, that could have been part of his decision, but also I think he wanted to stay with the Cubs, and maybe he's working to have a better season this next season so that they can get a long-term deal.
Yeah. Well, to take the 7 extra million, and then you're a free agent
Mm-hmm.
again. Same with
Yeah.
any of these guys are free agents
Mm-hmm.
again next season. So
Yes.
they might be able to do something. I mean, there was a lot of talk with Trent Grisham about the Angels could use him as a true center fielder. And then they were like, but do the Angels want to spend that much money? And especially on somebody who maybe they should have gone that route, because they paid big money for players that have had better track records. And how's that worked out? Anthony Rendon.
Yeah.
I mean, you figured he signed after an incredible 2019 season, plus won a ring. Sure, you want that kind of pedigree coming in there, and he's been terrible ever since. So maybe sign Trent Grisham Now they can't, but he would have been that. There was also talk about Trent Grisham with the Dodgers as filling in the center field gap and kind of reworking their outfield. So that's not going to happen. As it comes to the Yankees, who's going to take over when Cody leaves? So if Cody leaves, that's the key. All right. So anybody that was given a qualifying offer this year, those 13 that we did, they can never be given a qualifying offer again. So that'll help for some of those guys like Gleyber Torres next season. He won't have that attached to him, because would you go after or Grisham? Would you go after knowing that you're going to have to give up a draft pick for nothing guaranteed? So, all right.
Yeah.
So there have been some
signings.
There have been, yes, some transactions was the word I was looking for.
Oh.
But yes, signings works. All of a sudden,
you caught
like you
Jana-itis.
lost Eric K. I lost transactions. Anyway, there's been a few. Here's one that I think is interesting, and I wondered if it's not just some kind of a PR stunt. But there's word from official sources, not just facts on MLB, or a parody site, but the Pirates have or are rumored to be making an offer to Kyle Schwarber, which means that they would have to give up a pick to get him because he had the qualifying offer attached to him. Is that true, I wonder? Or is it just something that they're putting out there to kind of get the spotlight off of them as they don't spend any money once again?
That, I think, is what I'm thinking. Throwing stuff out there, especially with, we talked about this last week, Paul Skeens, that Skeens wants to, would pitch for the Yankees. Well, the Pirates don't want him to pitch for the Yankees. So let's say, well, we'd like to get Kyle Schwarber here. We'd like to get this player here. We're making, trying to make some moves. And then if they don't sign, that's like, well,
we
this
tried.
didn't work out. Yeah, I mean, we offered. So
that sounds like the Angels way, because a lot of players, everybody gets connected to the Dodgers, but a lot of players, there's a lot of times the Angels reached out. Like last year, they reached out to Gleyber Torres, and he said, no, the Tigers are going somewhere. The Angels are not. And he was right. But, there's a lot of reasons why players don't go to certain places, and especially if it's just not a good team. If the air conditioning doesn't work in the weight room, things like that. So,
yeah, you don't want that kind of stuff.
Speaking of the Angels, they did make a move. Remember last year, the Angels were like, the World Series wasn't even over with. They were already making moves.
Yeah.
And this year, I think last year it was like trading for Jorge Soler was like one of the first moves, as I recall. And then they signed Yusei Kikuchi, or it may have been swapped. This year, they have made a trade. And the guy who's been on the trade block every year for the past 3 or 4 years, Taylor Ward, is on his way to Baltimore.
Yeah, Camden Yards.
To be a Bird. And they get a guy who hasn't pitched since 2024, but was a high-end draft pick or prospect for the Orioles in Grayson Rodriguez. Of course, Angels Nation says, oh, here we go again. I told you I thought that the Angels should have got Rodriguez and one other piece, because Taylor Ward's got more upside, and he's a veteran. He showed what he could do last year, almost 40 home runs on the season, over 100 RBIs. And I think that they stuck with Adele instead of trading him off. Um, and maybe they could have got more if they traded Adele, but but Grayson Rodriguez, I mean, there is upside potentially, but he's had injuries, and who's to say when he comes back if he will be he'll be that prospect um, and live up to that potential. But it's not a bad move. You say I don't not like it. I just wonder if there was something else they could have gotten.
Yeah. So, um, Grayson Rodriguez had this is what he said to Angels fans on what they're getting. Gonna get a pitcher that's gonna throw a lot of innings, that's gonna be at the forefront of my goal. We're gonna go out there and win some ball games. We're gonna be playing in October.
Does the season go till like October 1st? No, it ends in the end of September
Well, that's his
again.
goal, and he's
Well, maybe
gonna
he'll get traded at the trade deadline to a team that will play in October. Because
and he
as much as I want to see that happen,
Mhm.
um, I don't think that they're there yet. I think maybe there's a couple more moves that they can make, but the question is, will they make them? Because like
Right.
last year, we thought, oh, this looks pretty good, and then they didn't do anything else.
Yeah. Well, I hope for the Angels' sake that he does, I know he had elbow surgery. He says he's ready to pitch, ready to start in spring training, and that he does, that he works that he does is going to be a good pitcher for the Angels. Now, Ken Rosenthal says, well, the Orioles got rid of him or traded him because they know he's not going to be the same pitcher.
Which is
So,
my concern, is
yeah,
that it's one thing when you get like when they signed Kyle Hendricks or even uh, what's his name, Tyler, what's his name? Um,
Ward, what,
no,
who,
no,
what?
the pitcher, what's his name?
Anderson.
Tyler. Yeah, Tyler Anderson.
Well, and I don't even know who Tyler Ward is.
Yeah, I don't know who he is either, but that's
Anderson.
Taylor's twin brother, Tyler and Taylor.
Yeah,
Um,
Tyler Andy.
anyway, having them um, was you didn't get them because they're the pitchers they started out as.
Mm-hmm.
You sign them for the pitchers they are now. I was just watching Moneyball. He was when they're talking to David Justice. He's like, I'm not paying you to be the player you were. I'm paying you to be the player you are now. And that's what with a kid like this though, you didn't get him thinking we hope he's okay. You got him because you want to see that upside. He's still young enough for that. It's not like getting an old guy. Um, and hoping that they can be, like getting Kenley Jansen, which I hope they re-sign. But
Yeah.
it's not like getting Kenley Jansen where you hope that in the end they, not only do they pitch well or play well, but they can be a mentor.
Yeah, definitely. I just
Or,
saw something that I thought was really interesting
mm-hmm,
because um I I think if you're going to make and it's on Twitter, but it's about um Adolis Garcia
Rangers.
of the Rangers, right? Sorry, I knew where he was from, but and it says, this is one of those MLB on facts, but it's from a different handle, and it says the LA Dodgers inquired about Adolis Garcia Tuesday morning, and they reportedly offered Otani straight up, and the Texas Rangers respectfully declined. I'm just like, really? Like, no one believes that. Because
Right.
sometimes that MLB on facts, I know it's a parody, but sometimes the way they do things, you're like, oh my gosh. And then you're like, oh, yeah, never mind.
And it's something that actually could be true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That not true. So
So,
do better.
couple of other things, real quick, an easy one. Rizel Iglesias signs a 1-year deal worth about 16 million to return to the Braves.
Yeah.
So he must like it down there in Atlanta.
He must. And we just heard too that one of our favorites, Mauricio Dubon, a utility player, Gold Glove utility player, I think 2 times, has been traded to Atlanta, and Houston will get Nick Allen.
Right, infielder, as I recall,
Mm-hmm.
for the Braves. So that's interesting. I'm kind of surprised because he's been, he won the utility Gold Glove this year,
Yeah.
and he did it in 2023. I was kind of surprised to see that they would let him go, but I guess maybe they're looking at the future or something. Who knows?
I guess. I don't know. And then
Yeah.
I think this is a big one, but it's kind of funny because I remember sending you a link about it was I want to say the Seattle Mariners GM, and they asked him about Josh Naylor, and it almost sounded like, yeah, we like Josh, but we wish him the best in whatever
Yeah, in his
happens,
future endeavor
right,
kind
in
of
his
thing.
future
Yeah.
endeavors. But then the Mariners sign him to a 5-year, $92.5 million contract. So Josh Naylor's happy. Apparently, they want to wish him the best in Seattle because he's back and he wanted to be back. I think the fans wanted him to be back as well. So it's a good deal all the way around for the Mariners.
Yep. So, and a lot of people were upset. I know the Angels fans, they were like, man, we got to deal with him more. And here's a guy that when you look at him, you just wouldn't think that, but I've liked Josh.
I
Um,
like the way he plays. He's
yeah.
kind of gritty and gutsy because he had a lot of stolen bases this
Oh,
year.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You
what,
just,
like
when you look at him, you
30
don't
or
think he
something
could do
crazy?
any of that. And
I
yeah.
mean,
And
when
then
he steals it, he gets up and he's like, needs an inhaler or something. But
oxygen. Yeah. Could somebody
yeah,
bring the tank out here? I need to,
yeah, but he's fun.
like
He's a
the,
fun player.
like the players have, I know in basketball, especially when they play in Denver,
Oh,
they got
right.
oxygen behind the bench. They come back
Yeah.
in after running up and down the floor.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's our list of transactions so far, right?
Yeah, that's all I have. Well, I'm sure we may see some trickle in, but uh, yeah, we'll keep you informed.
Yep. So if anything big happens between this year, between this time and next week, then we'll bring that up. One last thing I thought we should look at. Last week we talked about the players that were on the uh, Veterans Committee, the Modern Era Committee for the Hall of Fame, and the ballot for the first timers, or for the normal ballot, which is voted on and announced in January. I think it's like January 20th is when they announce it. Uh, it thought we should go maybe look through this list real quick. Are you up for that?
Yeah.
All right. And there's 12 new candidates and 15 that are holdovers that are anywhere from uh, 1 to 10 years on here. And the thing is, you have to have at least 75% of the vote uh, in order to um, in order to get it. Um, and did I send you a list earlier today?
No, I don't believe so. I didn't see it, but I have it in front of
Okay.
me.
So the let's go through the players, the 15 that are moving, uh, that are already on the holdovers. Only one of the 15 is in their last year, and that is Manny Ramirez. Pretty sure he's probably not going to get in there because of the steroid issues. Um, uh, Alex Rodriguez and Andy Pettit, um, also on there, but they're probably in the same position. They're in that group that gets looked down upon, like Kurt Schilling, Barry Bonds,
Mm-hmm.
um, and those players. So here's the guys that are the holdover, and then you can give us the newbies.
Okay.
Bobby Abreu, Carlos Beltran, Mark Burley, Felix Hernandez, Torrey Hunter, Andrew Jones, Dustin Pedroia, Andy Pettit, Manny Ramirez, Alex Rodriguez, K Rod, Francisco Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Omar Vizquel, and David Wright. Of those guys, Chase Utley was the player who had the highest. He hit, um, he was at almost 40%, 39.8% or something like that. Everybody else was well below him, but I think you have to receive at least 5% of the vote to stay on. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't, then you drop off.
Yep.
So who are 12 newbies?
The newbies are Cole Hamels, Ryan Braun, Alex Gordon, Shin Soo Chu, Edwin Encarnacion, Howie Kendrick, Nick Mark. I can't remember how to say his name.
It's
That's horrible.
Markakis.
Markakis. I know. I'm like, I'm having one of those days. Nick Markakis. There we go. Hunter Pence, Gio Gonzalez, Matt Kemp, Daniel Murphy, Rick Porcello, and he was the last one. And Rick Porcello had a rookie year with the Tigers, and then
He pitched for Boston.
went on. Yeah, pitch for Boston. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not anyone that really, to me, stands out in the newcomers as well. So
Yeah, I don't really see where any of them are. There's no first year candidates here.
no,
And it's not even a sure thing that any of the holdovers. Um, Chase Utley had the biggest jump. Will he get more, or is he stuck there? I honestly believe that Francisco Rodriguez uh, should have more votes than he's getting. Um, just because he had some great, and he holds the single season save record. Um,
yeah,
and he pitched well, especially for the Angels. But a lot of them, they're you know they're in the Hall of Good, Hall of Very Good. But yeah, they're not. I don't see anybody that stands out. I think as we talked about if anybody gets in, it'll be off of that committee. Um,
yeah.
the
I think so too. I don't. This, yeah, it's not spectacular. There's not a name that jumps off at you that you're like, that's a definite that guy's getting in.
There's players that you like, that you enjoyed. I mean, Andrew Jones maybe be one that you could make a case for.
Mm-hmm.
Felix Hernandez, possibly.
Yeah.
I know some people I read think that Cole Hamels has a shot, but Felix Hernandez was a better pitcher. So
Mm-hmm.
why would that be? As much as I like Torrey Hunter, he wasn't a Hall of Famer. I love
Yeah.
Howie Kendrick. He played for both of our teams, the Angels and the
Yeah.
Dodgers.
Yeah. He's in. But yeah, he's not. And I would say some of these guys too, as much as it'd be cool, to be in the Hall of Fame. They probably would say, yeah, it's nice to be on the ballot, but I'm not going to make
Yeah.
it.
Well, at least I hit my 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've been out of the game for 5, so
Mm-hmm.
now I can be on there. I'm sure
Yeah.
we know that in about 5 years we'll have Clayton Kershaw, so he's a first rounder. And I haven't really looked to see who's coming up, 27, 28.
Oh
So
yeah. I haven't either. But
anyway, so that those are all baseball writers things, and they will have to vote by the end of the year, and it's announced January 20th. So we'll know next year who's going in. And when is that? Normally, like July is when the
July,
induction.
maybe late July, something like that.
So yeah, we'll see if Fernando, Dale Murphy. Those were the two I think should be.
I think so too. Definitely Fernando, but I also think Dale Murphy deserves that as well.
And that's it for this week's Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast. As always, you can find us on our social medias at Twitter and on Blue Sky at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Facebook and Instagram at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
SiblingRivalryBB.com is where you'll find our website and the Fanatics link so that you can support the show in some little way, like we do. Whenever we order from Fanatics, we order through our links.
That's right.
So we try to be as self-supporting as possible.
Yes. Somebody's got to do it.
But it's a good place to go. That's one way to go, and you can, like I said, find any team of any sport that you're interested in, and like I said, you can get Dodgers gear from their back-to-back World Championships. All right, so next week we will be talking to Greg Sullivan from the Carolina Disco Turkeys. We will update anything if something big happens in the Angels Skaggs trial, and we'll also take a look at any other potential transactions, and share all that with you on what will be the season 6 finale, which if all goes well will drop on Thanksgiving Day, so you can listen when you're done eating the first time, halftime of any football game, when the games are over, when you have that second or third piece of pie and a turkey sandwich in the evening, you could be listening during that. And you can just turn down the sound, watch the game. You don't have to hear it, and listen to the podcast. So until next week, have a great week, and don't forget to swing away.